The idea of the oath of office is that in the first few seconds that a president occupies this high office, the presidency of the United States, there is a requirement in the Constitution, in Article 2, that he or she speak certain words and guarantee that he or she will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. That is an enormous obligation and limit on what a president is supposed to be doing. Right now, there is a huge gap in the law. We rely on a president who takes an oath of office to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. And that means even when there aren't legal requirements, there's an assumption that the president won't try to undermine the rule of law, for instance, by firing a special prosecutor like Mueller, who's looking into his own possible wrongdoing or those of those close to him. So right now, we rely on a president, but there is no legislation in place to prevent him from choosing an attorney general who would in turn fire the special prosecutor. This is a president who I think doesn't understand the basic limits of the office. President Trump has made many proposals that are obviously unconstitutional, and it's more than that. He showed a disposition that is hostile to the basic idea of the rule of law, to the idea of fundamental rights in our democracy. Threatening to have a complete shutdown of all Muslim immigration is a clear violation of the idea of free exercise and establishment. Threatening to imprison political opponents is a clear violation of the free speech clause. The repeated violations, for instance, of the emoluments clause are among the worst violations. Over time, we've allowed the presidency to go beyond the bounds that are required by the Constitution. So on my view, what we need to do is return to a system in which those investigating the president are protected by law. In the long term, I want to see a return to the old independent counsel law that would guarantee not just the right of an independent counsel not to be fired, but the right as well of that person to be appointed without conflict of interest by an independent panel. Congress has a role too in enforcing the Constitution and passing bills to protect its own legislative agenda and to protect the rule of law. For instance, the Independent Counsel Act rightly served to rein in a president. So it's not just this president that bears responsibility, but Congress as well, which has unfortunately failed to act in many areas in which it should. The president is not supposed to use the office to advance his or her personal interests or even to just advance an agenda that he or she wants to happen. It's to defend a constitutional ideal. So the office of the presidency is a limited one. It's one that comes with very specific obligations. And when those obligations are flouted, it's really up to citizens to do something about it, and up to Congress and up to our courts to hold a president accountable.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.